Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to be looking into the technological mirror. And, what's staring back at us is way more than just a simple reflection. We're talking about a tool that can actually heal our bodies, train us, and maybe, just maybe, fool our own minds.
So let's really think about that for a second. What if your own reflection could do more than just, reflect? What if it could heal you, train you, even fool you? It sounds like science fiction, right? But to get how this is possible, we've got to start with the simplest, most low-tech mirror you can imagine.
And this whole story, it doesn't start in some futuristic high-tech lab. Nope. It starts in the world of rehabilitative medicine, with a really simple but surprisingly clever illusion that is, no joke, changing people's lives. It's a technique called mirror therapy. So imagine this. For someone recovering from a stroke, you can use a regular old mirror to create this powerful visual trick. It literally tricks the brain into thinking a paralyzed limb is moving again. And by doing that, it taps into the brain's incredible ability to rewire itself. It's amazing.
So get this super simple visual trick, just a reflection, has a real, powerful, physical effect. It's the definition of a low-tech tool having a seriously high-impact result. And look, this isn't just some neat idea. It's backed by science. A 2015 study by Kim and Lee. They confirmed just how effective this is. They found that mirror therapy actually induced motor recovery and improved quality of life. They called it a feasible and effective method. So in this case, the mirror isn't just for looking at yourself. It becomes a literal tool for healing.
Okay, so that's the low-tech version. Now let's jump forward and see how this basic idea evolves. From just a passive reflection into an active digital coach that can train you in real time. Getting real-time feedback on your exercise form, that used to be a really expensive deal. You needed all these fancy depth sensors or a whole setup with multiple cameras, basically tech that only pro athletes could get their hands on. But now, a new system called Core UI is totally changing the game. It makes all that possible with just a standard webcam. So how does it work? Well, here's the cool part. The system takes a target pose, from a picture of someone doing the exercise perfectly, and then it looks at you through your webcam. And then, bam, it creates a 3D digital twin of both the target pose and you. And this is where the magic really happens. It overlays your digital twin right on top of the target's pose. It then uses these colored markers on key parts of your body, like your elbows or your knees, to show you instantly and super intuitively exactly where you need to adjust your form. No guesswork.
And this right here is the core innovation. It's a seriously brilliant insight into how our brains actually work. See, older systems would just show you a 2D skeleton, like a stick figure, which is kind of abstract and hard to follow, right? But Core UI gives you a full 3D shape. And why does that matter so much? Well, it's because our brains are literally wired to process and understand human bodies, not stick figures. So it taps directly into our natural wiring, and the feedback feels less like you're reading data and more like pure intuition.
And the data totally backs this up. A user study showed that people using this 3D guidance weren't just more accurate, they also fixed their mistakes way, way faster than the people struggling with that old skeleton model. It just works better.
So all of this, it brings us to the ultimate technological mirror. The grand quest, really, to create a perfect photorealistic digital human. A reflection so real, you literally can't tell it apart from the real thing.
And let's be clear, this isn't just some fun, creative project for artists. This is a massive economic driver. We're talking about a synthetic media market that's projected to be worth $500 billion by 2028. That kind of money, well, it fuels some absolutely incredible and super fast innovation in AI.
But here's the thing. As we get closer and closer to that perfect reflection, we run into this really strange, kind of unsettling psychological barrier. Think about it. A model like the one from the Core UI system, it works because we know it's a model. It's just a tool. It's functional. It's not trying to fool us into thinking it's human. The problem starts when the reflection tries to convince us that it is real. You've probably felt this. It's called the photorealistic uncanny valley. It's that creepy, unsettling feeling you get when a digital character looks almost human, but something's just off. Maybe it's the eye movement or the skin texture. These tiny imperfections trigger this feeling of revulsion. Our brains are so good at reading human cues that they immediately flag it as something deeply wrong. So for the entire synthetic media industry, this is the million-dollar question, or I guess the $500 billion question. How do you get across this valley?
So what's the plan? Well, this gives us a good look at the main strategies.
Companies are building AI that doesn't just generate images, it acts more like a supervisor, a quality control expert. It's enforcing rules, like making sure the visual style stays consistent from frame to frame so the lighting doesn't just flicker randomly. And then there's character coherence, which is just making sure the digital person actually looks and feels like the same person from one second to the next. They're even creating what you could call AI directors to manage all this stuff, adding a kind of human artistic touch to the whole process.
And all this leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. We've gone from a simple mirror that can heal our bodies to a digital twin that can train them. We're right on the edge of creating a truly perfect reflection. But when we finally get there, when our digital mirrors are completely flawless, who, or maybe what, is going to be looking back at us?